downed trees and downed power lines.
This is a wet, heavy snow.
Coloradans are cleaning up from a late May storm that dropped several inches of snow across the metro.
I've lived here my whole life, and I've never seen it snow like this in May.
The spring storm had vendors scrambling before this popular farmer's market.
I did do some mulching just to make sure that things were insulated and nice.
I have an updated list of snow totals, and this unseasonably cold weather is sticking around again tonight with freeze warnings in effect again.
Plus, the Avs are trying to bounce back. They're in St. Louis for Game 3 in their playoff series against the Blues.
That's how you advance. You play your best hockey throughout the course of the series and hope your best is better than their best.
What a difference a day makes. The snow has moved out and we are seeing lots of sunshine, a few clouds across the metro. You're looking live right now from our Mile High camera.
Boy, quite the contrast, because this is what we woke up to across the metro. Neighborhoods covered in snow, with some areas receiving several inches overnight.
Let's take a look at the latest snow totals. Howard picked up nearly 30 inches of snow.
As you can imagine, A-Basin picked up a lot of snow. In fact, it was more than a foot. The ski resort posted these photos showing people skiing on the slopes.
All of the heavy wet snow brought tree limbs down, power limbs down. So people across the metro spent this day cleaning up the mess, and we will have an update on that in just a few minutes.
But first, we want to start our team coverage on this Weather Action Day with meteorologist Stacey Donaldson. Stacey, even though the snow has moved out, we're still going to have another cold night.
We are. We have freeze warnings in effect for the entire metro area. I have some local snowfall totals for the Front Range, and those are also impressive as well. We had 14.5 inches for Castle Rock, also about 8 inches in Arvada and 7 in Lakewood. You may have more or less in your neighborhood, but these are some of the reports that we did get in. We still have some snow down towards Salida into Trinidad, where we still have some watches and warnings in effect, but up in the high country, some light to moderate snow falling off and on. Boy, so much fresh powder up there in the last 24 hours, but here things have cleared out for the Front Range, so we're looking pretty good. We may see a few scattered showers, but overall partly cloudy skies in through tonight, and then that snow farther to the south. So a lot of watches and warnings this evening. Winter weather advisories toward Alamosa and winter storm warning that will expire in about another hour, and then freeze warnings here for the Denver metro and for the Eastern Plains frost advisories. So any plants, cover those tonight, bring them in if you can for one more night. Then we're going to warm things up again for tomorrow, so it'll be a little bit better. Our temperatures in for the rest of the night will be in the 40s. We'll drop to 40 degrees by 11 p.m., but we of course have that freeze warning in effect overnight. We'll talk more about the rest of the weekend forecast coming up.
All right, thank you, Stacey. This storm has knocked out power to nearly 1,000 people, and that is down from 210,000 earlier today. Sorry, I don't have the 70,000 people is the update for today. Here's a look at the Excel outage map. Most of those outages are to the south and west of the Denver metro near Arvada, Lakewood, and Littleton. And Excel says it has 1,200 employees working to restore power.
All hands on deck.
And this is the main reason you can look at here for the power outages. That heavy wet snow knocked down tree lines and power lines. This is video from a neighborhood in Arvada where some people were without power for more than 12 hours.
Wow, we continue our team coverage with Denver 7's Patrick Perez, who is live in Denver, where crews and homeowners were busy cleaning up.
Yeah, Brian, I want to show you what we've seen throughout our drive in the metro today. Just multiple falling limbs. And for the ones that haven't fallen yet, well, they're about to. Check this out. We've seen several cars hitting this branch here. Hopefully this gets cleared up soon. And so while you may think this is kind of minor, what we saw today was not. It was a sound heard across the Denver metro Saturday. Chainsaws, even wood chippers, as crews worked throughout the day to remove fallen tree limbs.
Well, about 5:30, I heard a loud crack.
Chris Ortel woke up to find 2 of his family's cars damaged by the weight of a branch that fell from this old cottonwood near Adams Street and Vassar Avenue.
Luckily, no one was hurt, but looks like a good chunk of damage on 2 cars.
Friday's cold temperatures and heavy wet snow were a shocker, he says, after coming back from a trip to Savannah, Georgia.
I left yesterday in 95-degree weather and flew into this, and so wasn't quite expecting this today.
In south central Arvada, crews were also busy helping homeowners clean up.
This is our third job we've been on so far this morning, and I'm sure we have 4 or 5 more to go do.
Raymond Pacheco with Riverdale Tree Services says a lot of the trees they worked on were either never pruned or not pruned correctly. That can make a big difference.
I've looked at some of the trees that we've done in the passed today, and I saw some. They looked great. No damage to them.
Homeowners here were also without power for more than 12 hours and doing what they can to stay warm and stop their food from spoiling.
We're keeping it closed, right, so that we can save the coolness that's inside of it. But I think if it goes longer, of course, we'll be pretty concerned about it.
This late May snow proves just how unpredictable Mother Nature can be.
A lot of branches sometimes, but nothing like this.
And a spokesperson with Denver Parks and Rec tells me they've received more than 100 reports today of all of these fallen limbs that are either blocking sidewalks or roads. And of note, we've spoken with multiple homeowners and people who live in this University Park neighborhood just in the past 20 minutes. A lot of them are still without power. Bayan.
It's a big branch there, Patrick. Thank you. All right, here's some tips if you still see snow on your trees. Use a broomstick to gently brush or shake the snow off. Do that in an upward motion to prevent damage. If a branch or tree falls, check with your city for its removal policy. Like Patrick said, you can call 311 in Denver, but the city will charge you to remove it. In many cities now, property owners are responsible for trees on their property and the adjacent right-of-way.
Byron, this won't surprise you, but the cold, snowy weather didn't stop Coloradans from getting out and about, even for typically spring weather activities. Denver 7's Christian Lopez rounds out our team coverage. She stopped by the City Park Farmers Market where the freeze had farmers scrambling to protect their produce.
Rain, shine, or snow, the farmers market here at City Park still goes on, but these snowy conditions did cause some impacts for local vendors. The wet and cold weather putting a damper on sales at the Saturday morning farmers market in Denver.
I would say from even last week, maybe 80%, 90%. It's a big drop because of the weather, obviously, but we're happy for the people that did come out.
Brooklyn Hill said with the storm moving in this week, she made sure her plants were protected.
Oh my gosh, we had to we have some bedding outside with some dahlia tubers that we had to protect with some frost cloth. We also put out a little bit of tarp out on certain areas, but mainly our frost blankets and coverings to really make sure our plants and tubers are safe.
Others were happy to see the moisture.
It is very helpful for all of the soil, getting it ready for all of the tomatoes and the peppers that are going to go in the ground as soon as it warms up. And then, of course, all of the other veggies that are in the ground. Now, this is good moisture.
Chuck Bermudez grows all organic food in the 5 Points neighborhood.
Being an urban farmer, there's the microclimates within the city, so that gives me a different advantage than farmers who grow in the open spaces in the middle of different climates.
He was also preparing for the sudden change in weather.
I did do some mulching just to make sure that things were insulated and nice, but I didn't really have to struggle too much because I didn't plant the fragile things outside yet.
Vendors encouraging you to stop by on Saturday through the end of October.
So come and see us. We have lots of awesome things.
It might not have been as busy as last weekend, but many vendors told me they are thankful for those who did come out to support them despite the cold and snowy conditions. Reporting in Denver, I'm Christian Lopez, Denver 7.
All right, Christian, thank you. Now, as you guys can imagine, it's going to be a chilly night for the Luke Combs concert at Empower Field. Parking lots are already open, and the concert will go on regardless of possible rain or shine. Now, here's a live look from Empower Field where you can see some people are heading into the stadium. Empower Field tweeted this photo saying the stage is set and the concert starts at 6.
Coloradans know how to do it, and the snow and cold did not stop the state high school track and field championships at Jeffco Stadium. Jeffco Athletics tweeted this video showing the work they had to do to get the stadium ready. Chassa had to clear 8 inches of snow from the stadium. Those championships will finish on Sunday.
Of course, remember you can get 24/7 Colorado weather updates and live radar on your TV. Just download the free Denver 7 Plus app on your favorite streaming device.
Eastbound I-70 is back open again outside Evergreen tonight. It's been closed for hours because of a semi-truck carrying carrots that caught fire. These photos show the damage and firefighters trying to pull out those smoldering carrots. The backhoe came to help remove debris, and the State Patrol and firefighters do not know what caused the fire. They say there was not a crash and it was not weather related. A wildfire burning near Ouray had grown to nearly 375 acres. The Sims fire started Thursday. It's only 15% contained right now. About 220 firefighters are working on it now, and all evacuation orders, and good news, have been lifted.
All right, here we go again. Masks are now required in some parts of Jefferson County because of rising coronavirus cases and positivity rates. The health department says masks are needed in places like homeless shelters, jails, and adult daycare centers. The county says the case rate has risen to more than 200 cases per 100,000 people in the last 7 days. The CDC giving the green light for kids between 5 and 11 years old to get a COVID booster shot. As Elwin Lopez reports, the decision comes as cases are rising and hospitalizations among children are rising.
Nearly half of the U.S. is living in areas with medium or high COVID-19 risk levels, according to new data. The country is seeing more than 101,000 new cases per day. Hospitalizations for those under 17 up more than 16% over the past week. The CDC giving the green light for booster shots for children ages 5 to 11 at least 5 months after their initial shots.
We understand that although the risk is less for children, it isn't zero. So my recommendation is to get the vaccine now, and better safe than sorry, not just protecting against the acute effects of COVID, but also the possible complications.
Austin Moger, one of the first kids to roll up his sleeve for the 3rd time.
Because it's like a bubble, and then I already have 2 layers of the bubble. So if I add a booster shot, it's like another layer of the bubble.
His mother, a Hartford nurse.
The past 2 years, I've seen more death in my unit than I've ever seen before. But I'm glad the vaccine is here. We can move forward.
But some parents remain hesitant.
As of now, I don't know how much testing was done. I don't want to bring my kid into that risk.
This booster recommendation comes amid concerns of a possible summer surge.
It extends that bubble. It makes the bubble bigger. We've always talked about vaccination as a personal choice, but it's a personal choice with societal consequences.
The FDA is set to decide by early July on a new vaccine expected to roll out in the fall, one that would last longer and better target Omicron and its subvariants.
What I am recommending to basically everybody over 50 is, given how much infection there is, given that extra layer of protection that the second booster offers, that there's no reason to wait.
And in places where there are high rates of transmission, the CDC is once again urging Americans to wear masks indoors. Elwin Lopez, ABC News, Atlanta.
All right, less than an hour away from puck drop in the Gateway City.
And yes, Avs fans, I know those nerves must be unreal right now. The Avs are hoping to bounce back against the Blues. Nick Rothschild joins us now. Nick, this is a pretty big game for the Avs.
Yeah, no kidding. The biggest one yet, right? Each game becomes the biggest game, and therefore this one is a big one. And I think most reasonable Avs fans, well, we understand they weren't going to sweep their way to the Stanley Cup, right? This loss in Game 2 felt like it was coming. But one loss, while frustrating, not a cause for great concern. Doesn't mean the team isn't taking the bad performance seriously. Jared Bednar said immediately after the game that their effort just wasn't good enough. We've seen what this team looks like when everybody's bought in, and that wasn't it on Thursday. So after a couple days to break down film and diagnose what ails them, I expect we see a lot more movement out of the Avalanche tonight.
When we're playing at our best, guys are moving their legs right from the get-go, regardless of when they have the puck or not. And moving your legs just creates those open opportunities for us and allows us to get out of our zone. And that's just something that we didn't have. But at the end of the day, that's what it is, and you move on.
That's where it all starts for us, is our skating and the pace and tempo that we play at. Not assertive enough in our defending, and also a lot of like self-induced turnovers.
Didn't expect any major technical changes from the Avalanche tonight. We saw it in Game 1 against St. Louis. If they play standard Avalanche hockey, they're going to overwhelm the Blues. But
yes,
it sounds like DU alum Logan O'Connor is going to be entered into the lineup tonight in place of Nico Sturm. Jared Bednar says this team is deep. They're going to need everybody in this run of the Cup, so maybe O'Connor helps inject some energy. Certainly a fan favorite here around Denver.
Maybe we'll see a huge performance from him. Yeah, really
Hoping
excited
for it.
Go
awesome.
Avs. All right, thank you, Nick. Still ahead, the Biden administration is trying to fix a baby formula shortage, and that means flying pallets of formula to the U.S.